Monkey is a brand new film from Osgood Perkins starring Theo James and Tatiana Maslany. And with this being a follow-up to one of my favorite films of 2024, Longlegs, I was beyond excited to see what Oz had up his sleeve with this movie. And now that I've seen it, well, there's a lot to talk about. So welcome to the channel, everybody. That's exactly what we're going to be doing today. This is going to be my spoiler-free review of The Monkey. Be sure to leave all of your comments down below. Leave me your thoughts, and let's dive in. All right, so The Monkey. The official synopsis reads, when twin brothers find a mysterious wind-up monkey, a series of outrageous deaths tear their family apart. 25 years later, the monkey begins a new killing spree, forcing the estranged brothers to confront the cursed toy. And it's worth noting that this is based on a short story by Stephen King, one that leans much more into horror than humor, yet for some reason this film takes the exact opposite approach. And I knew that just like the toy monkey itself would make this movie inherently ridiculous, but I don't know if I was prepared with just how much this movie was going to lean into that. And if we're talking about the execution, really, when I was walking out of this film, I couldn't help but feel extremely let down. Honestly, I was a bit angry. The entire tone of this film felt like it was talking down to the audience with this sort of like unspoken attitude that's like, if you're not enjoying this, you just don't get it, that type of thing. And here's the thing, I did get it, and I thought it was a mess both literally and figuratively. I've used this analogy before, but it's like going to a museum and seeing a bunch of scribbles that somebody insists is like high art. Some people might stand in front of that and be absolutely blown away, but me, like, I can't help but see it for what it is. It felt like a bunch of scribbles. It felt like a movie that was so obsessed with being clever that it forgot to be good. And that's the frustrating part, because buried somewhere in this movie is a fantastic horror film. And if it had just leaned into the tension in the same way that Longlegs did, just embracing that unsettling atmosphere instead of undercutting itself with constant bits, I feel like we could have had something special. But instead, it feels like every single scene was written, and before moving on, somebody burst into the room and they were like, wait a minute, what if we put another bit in there? I know there's a lot of jokes in this scene, but don't you think we just need one more? The best way that I could put it is it felt like the script couldn't sit still, like it was constantly chasing the next gag, rather than focusing on the story and putting the weight on that. And blending horror and comedy is tough. Like when it works, you get Evil Dead 2, Cabin in the Woods, even Barbarian in some ways. It can be incredible. But with The Monkey, the balance is completely off. It's like they wanted Final Destination style kills, but with Napoleon Dynamite's energy. And that, like, tonal clash, that's what did the movie in for me. That's what ruined it for me. I think that one of the things clearly that made Longlegs so cool and brilliant to me was Osgood Perkins, his direction. There was a lot of slow burn tension, the eerie atmosphere, and the way that every scene, it felt intentionally designed just to get under your skin. But for me, at least, The Monkey felt like it was made by a completely different filmmaker. Some of the cinematography and shot choices had his fingerprints, but the overall tone felt more like a studio project trying to turn a King short story into the next, I don't know, Megan or Cocaine Bear. And that also makes me sad because The Monkey itself, freaking awesome. In a perfect world, this thing would become the next horror icon and start a franchise, but I highly doubt that that's gonna happen now. I'd be very happy to be proven wrong with that because I'd love to see another go at this just because The Monkey is so damn fun, but I don't know, we'll see. There are good parts to this film, and that's kind of what I would want to see if they ever could make a different one, or if somebody else took this over and tried to redo it, because the kills are brutal, man. They're brutal and hilarious and creative, and that alone I think is worth the price of admission, just going and seeing those things on the big screen. But when you mix that with an overly jam-packed, goofy tone, the tension is completely drained, and it's hard to be scared when the movie is constantly winking at you. But I typically highlight performances, and as for the performances, really no complaints at all. The performances were not to the movie's detriment whatsoever. Theo James absolutely crushes it. I really want to see his career take off, and nothing about this movie should hold him back with that. The same goes for Tatiana Maslany, who, yes, was last seen in She-Hulk, a weird show, but she was great in it, I thought. But she's super talented, and I want better projects for her, and that's not to say that she wasn't great in this. I didn't like this movie very much. But I think the most disappointing thing for me here was the potential. There were moments between Theo James's character, I believe his name was Hal, him and his son. There was a couple special moments there that I was like, that's it. That's what you need to key into. Those little glimpses of something deeper reminded me of Lee and her mom and Longlegs. Just tap into that emotional core and you got something chilling. And look, I get that the monkey was going for something entirely different than Longlegs, but for me, it's a little hard to compute because how does this director go from masterpiece to mediocre in one single leap? It doesn't make sense. But I highly suggest that you get out to this film and make up your mind for yourself. Go see The Monkey, let me know what you think about it. As for my Jones Vibe star review, my friends, I am giving The Monkey 2.5 out of 5 stars, and I got no doubts about that. But again, leave me all your comments down below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Also, make sure you hit like if you haven't already, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. But more than anything, keep up the good vibes, my friends. I'll see you in the next video. Peace!